the second to last day in jail of my field placement. So this feels like a crazy video to make. The fact that like Thursday, Friday, I just feel like they're gonna fly by and then I'm done. So I'm really glad to document it. I feel like I was just starting, and I feel like all of these videos recently have me being like, oh my gosh, it zoomed by and now it's done. But welcome to Thursday, the last Thursday in jail.
It's easier to love when it's you by my side, shining through the cracks like the first morning light.
I had just started this video clip and then someone pulled in right next to me and I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'll just be confident, not care what other people think about me talking by myself in my car. And then he was getting his groceries out literally like 18 inches from my face. So I jumped ship and this is the new one. But what I was gonna say is I feel like I don't talk that often about the actual jail aspects of working in jail. Like, I'll talk about mental health, like the internship part, imposter syndrome, social work, all of that, without always talking about like jail culture. And I think part of that is just part of like confidentiality. Like, it's a tough line, you know, with like how much I can share. But all that to say, this morning I had a moment. A squirrel just straight fell out of the tree. This morning, I had a moment when I was walking in where I thought I was gonna have to deal with something. Because basically I was walking in and like the roof was like this, and I swore I saw someone on the roof. And then they like disappeared real quick. And when you work in jail, like you kind of gotta be wary of that kind of stuff, because you know, like someone's on the roof, like what is happening? And so I saw that and I like went back to my car and I was like, it's probably no big deal, but like, do I have to call someone? Like, this could be a big deal. And so I like was literally just sitting here watching, like waiting to see like what I would need to do. Which again, like the chances of that literally happening and actually being like a crisis situation are so low. But it was the fact that I swore I saw someone and then they disappeared, where I was like, I don't know what that was. And it turns out there's just people working on our roof. Like, they were actually supposed to be there, had been approved to be there. And I guess it was just a test of what I could handle, because there really was a second where I was like, that seems like a security issue if there is literally someone up on the roof. Like, what are we doing up there, guys? In this secure facility. It was okay though. Obviously I wouldn't talk about it if it wasn't okay, but it was okay. So I can mention that fun little story. But yeah, this was my second to last day. I did tear up maybe twice, because I learned that my supervisor, who I've like spent the most time with, like she's the social worker, she's been signing off on my things, she is gonna be gone tomorrow, and I didn't know that. So tomorrow's my last day, but today unknowingly was my last day with her, and she said we'll go on monthly dates and everything going forward. So I mean, fingers crossed I'll still see her. But they gave, here, I'll get it out. They gave a little parting gift, a little card, and everyone signed, and it was like reading it. She was like, aren't you gonna open your card? And I was like, honestly, I'm not sure if I can, because I'm probably just gonna cry. And I did tear up a little bit. And then they got me little fuzzy socks as well, which I thought was cute, because they said at my first day at my new job, wherever that is, I haven't talked about it yet. I just realized that this is gonna be a little out of order. My first day at my new job, they said after my first day, if I get home and I'm feeling exhausted or worn out, to put on those fuzzy socks, think of them, chill out a little bit. And so that's what I'll do. I thought it was really sweet. Overall, as far as like the work that I usually do talk about today, it was a pretty chill day. I did do one assessment for a kid that ended up not being placed on mental health caseload, because not everyone is on mental health caseload that's there. Obviously, like supportive services are offered to those who need it, but obviously like not everybody needs it. And so he was not. I just had to do the assessment, do the paperwork, do all of that. I like visited a little bit with some of the kids, but no sessions or anything, because I'm all done with those. I did have a talk with one of my kids that's been on my caseload and his new provider, just so like he would know who he was going to, who he was transferred to. And he's been knowing that I've been going to be leaving, because termination starts in the first session, but just so that he could have like therapeutic handoff, where it's like, okay, this is your new therapist, you know, she's got your back, all of that. I just know that I'm gonna be sad tomorrow. I'm just so aware that I'm gonna be sad tomorrow. But also, I'm so thankful that I've liked it enough to be sad like this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so thankful that I'm not like having to count down the days till I get to be done. Like, I feel like this is the better option to pick of that. And so I am grateful for that reason. It just, you know, it's tough. Tough ending. I was listening to Good Old Days by Macklemore this morning in the car, and then I told myself I had to stop because that was ridiculous.
And I don't want you to go, my golden girl, I need you so. And I just want you to know how much I love you so. love you so, and it took some time.
Today's the last day. It doesn't feel real, but also it does, because I can like tell that I'm feeling like just love, you know, love for the people that I work with and the place that I work and everything. So it's gonna be a weird one. Yesterday, I sat on the couch and watched Love Island and played Sudoku. So far post-grad life has been incredible. I felt exhausted, but I also think part of it's because it's the first time I've been able to just like rest and truly rest, which is a new feeling. So I like the entire time, like when did I get home? I got home like probably like 5:30 or so, and laid on the couch and played Sudoku and watched Love Island until probably like 9:30. Like that's all I did. What I am planning, and I mentioned this in a vlog recently, I am planning to like film a nighttime routine soon, just because I never film at night, and I like my nighttime routine. It's pretty set. It sets me up for the next day, and I know that people like those videos. But then also on these days whenever I just fail to even pick up the camera once I get home, we can just fill in that little nighttime video, you know, little sequence of events. Got my coffee and my greens ready to go. I feel so fun having multiple beverages. I feel so Speaking of multiple beverages, I got literally the best package in the mail the other day, and it was just a straight gift. But I texted my mom and Zach right when I got it. It was like, if I never receive another single thing from YouTube, like this has made it all worth it. Like all the hours of editing, everything, this has made it all worth it. Check out this juice. And they have shots too. These are my Magic Mind shots I still have left over, but then these are all Suja shots and Suja juices. And Zach and I have already drinking 2 of them, so it started with 2 left. But I think it's like literally every single flavor. So much love for that, because as you know from vlogs, like I get Suja juice at Kroger, like I really like their juices. So I was absolutely thrilled to have received that. I'm gonna go get myself ready for my last day. I haven't decided my outfit yet. I feel like I should wear like my favorite things. So weird. Some of you probably came from this video, but if you remember my undergrad field placement, I did like a day in the life of a school social worker, and it was actually my last days there. And while I felt it, I didn't feel it quite like I am now. Like I definitely was like, oh man, it's done, but I had like the next semester coming up, and I'd only been there for a semester, and so like I didn't have as deep of a relationship with the kids or anything, and I knew that like I'd still be in contact with my supervisor and all of that. And this time, like I've been here longer because I've been here the whole year, 2 semesters, and I just like really care for these kids. Ethically can't like reach out to them and see how they're doing after I'm gone. Granted, I still can get updates from my supervisor and everything just to kind of see what's happening to them, how they're doing and everything, but I just really care for these kids, and I really like all of the people that I work with. I feel like this is something, I don't know if I've even mentioned it that much, but it's not just my supervisors that I really do like at jail. It's like literally every single person who works there has made me feel so welcome, and has like made sure that I can do my job, like has offered to help me at any time. I've mentioned before that I don't have keys, so like if they ever see me like stuck at a door, they'll, you know, pop it for me. Like they'll double check, like, do you need to see any kids today? Like every single person has gone out of their way to just to make sure that like I can be successful, and that like just feels like a big hug. Like I feel the love. I can't cry yet. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm running late, but little outfit, wearing my little green shirt again because I love it, and I thrifted it and it was cheap. I feel like the whole day today I'm gonna look like this. My little like smile with pain on the inside, but I'm on my way. I'm headed out.
Never thought I'd find you here.
Ready for the closing remarks? I don't think I am. Today, honestly, was a very good day. And that's the last time that I'll be saying that about this internship, because it is all done. I got so many sweet emails throughout the day that were just like, we've been so glad that you've been here. Thanks for being a great part of the team. And then I talked to a lot of the kids, just reminding, like, remember, this is my last day, giving little like words of encouragement. And I feel like it's a part of social work that isn't always talked about. Like obviously termination, like the end of services, I feel like just isn't talked about quite as much as actually giving the services. And not only is it super important to do that well so that the client feels taken care of, like there's a smooth transition of continuation of services, but then also like it's hard to say goodbye to people who you truly genuinely care about. And that's how I feel about these boys, is that like I'm not going to see them again unless it's just, you know, some freak accident at a grocery store or something, but I'm not going to see them again. And I really hope they have good lives. Obviously some of them are facing like a long time and won't be free for a while, but also, you know, I just hope they they have good lives, that they're surrounded by people who love them, one of whom is no longer me. I did do some like regular duties today, and then we had the last Fun Friday that I'll be a part of, which Fun Friday is their little like positive behavior incentive. So if they've been good all week, haven't had any like write-ups or any of that, and they get to participate in Fun Friday. Today they had hot dogs and chips and got to play basketball, so that was just fun to kind of like be around and watch. One of my kids I'd seen for the last time, and he said, you know, Miss Schull, you're gonna be a really good counselor. And I really just like, in that moment, like I almost broke down in tears because it just hit my heart a lot, because not only do I care about like leaving and like that's part of the internship, but also just like looking back to when I first started this that was weird. Looking back to when I first started this internship, like I can see how I have changed so much through it, both in just like my comfort level being like in the jail and stuff like that, but also just as a clinician, as a social worker. Like I just didn't have any kind of experience or training with when people are wanting to hurt themselves or others, and now I feel a lot more prepared to deal with that therapeutically and beneficially for the person. I think going into this internship, I was so terrified to mess up or to make a mistake, and that just led to me feeling like anxious and like wanting to people please, you know, like I needed everyone to love me and I needed to do like such an amazing job. And I think it's partly helped because I've gotten to know how to do it a lot better, but I also think I've just become a lot more comfortable with not being perfect, but trying my hardest and doing my best, like being good. And I think a lot of that has been like the people I've been around who have very like bold personalities and like very confident personalities.
Editing this video, I just realized that cut out right there, and so it gives us a little chance to finish up the reflection here a few days later. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm sunburnt now. This is the introduction to post-grad life, but it was cutting out when I was talking about how much the people that I've been around have helped me to grow. And so not even just as a social worker, but literally as a person, I feel like this internship has really, and just like this year of life has really been a transformative one for me. Not to be too cheesy about it or anything, but I think that's reflective in these videos that I've been making on YouTube. And like this has also been a big transformative part of the year for me. It's something that I love, and I love getting to document because then I get to look back on videos. I'm a very much sentimental person, if you don't know that about me, and it's just crazy. I almost thought about putting together a little like compilation of my internship, and then I realized that was cheesy and I also probably couldn't handle it. But just the various clips throughout videos since August, September, when I like was sitting in the car, and there's been bad days and there's been great days, and there's been days I felt on top of the world. And I feel like a lot of the change that I went through was very uncomfortable to go through, in that like a lot of the days were hard, but a lot of it was because I really was working to challenge, like I mentioned, like me feeling anxious every day. Like I realized like there wasn't a reason to do that, or me feeling the need to be so people pleasing or anything. And a lot of that I think was due to the people who I was just surrounded by, like the big warm hug that I walked into almost every single day, in that the people who I was around like wouldn't let me be apologetic for things I didn't need to be apologetic for, or I could see them being so comfortable and confident in themselves that I think that that really grew me as well. So beyond just social work, I just feel so thankful for this time of year, but it definitely is hard, and it's been hard today too, even just thinking about the clients that I've been working with, the boys that are there that I won't be seeing anymore, because it's hard. You know, I became attached. Like I do care for them, and I think it's like I'm mourning the end. Not to be dramatic, but I am excited for all that is to come. I feel like it still hasn't quite hit that it's done, and I will be making like further, you know, like MSW experience, MSW reflection videos coming up. But obviously if there's anything you want me to talk more about, let me know so I can move that video to the top of the queue. But just thank you for being on this little journey with me. I feel like we did my MSW, and I could not be more thankful. I could not. Man, phone ran out of storage and then camera battery died, but I could not be more thankful. I could not imagine this year having gone much better, and a lot of that is also to thank for you. So I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.